As Ontario families wait for details on how schools will reopen in the fall, an advisory group from Sick Kids Hospital releasing its recommendations that include screening and no face masks.
There's increasing evidence to suggest from different countries around the world who have already opened up schools, who have already opened up the economy, that children may in fact not be the super spreaders that we thought there would be.
The Sick Kids experts also say physical distancing measures will be needed, but children should be allowed to play together. They also stress the need for students to return to the classroom. Joining us with reaction locally, epidemiologist Dr. Raywat Deonandan. Good to see you. Thank you for your time. Do you agree the kids have to go back in September?
Yeah, I mean, if they keep kids out of school too much longer, that creates its own public health emergency. So I don't see society tolerating absence of kids from schools for much longer. So they have to go back.
A lot of parents will agree with you. They're feeling the stresses already. Can you describe what that public health emergency would be if they don't go back?
Well, for a certain school age, lacking structured education at this point may lead to long-term delays in development intellectually, certainly economic delays. And then there's the social isolation costs of this. So the mental health impacts we don't fully understand yet, but they're likely to be substantial if we prolong this any further.
Should they go back no matter what, even if there's a second wave come the fall?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Now, no matter what, I wouldn't say that. If things are really bad, of course, we find other alternatives. But given the way things are currently unfolding and the fact that we're going to have to live with this disease probably for several months, if not years, strategies need to be put into place now to allow schools to open safely. So I'm glad that Sick Kids has created this document. It shows that at least important people are thinking about it in a strategic manner.
We know that as we reopen, there may be a spike in cases. We're now, yesterday, 0 cases, new cases in the city, 0 new deaths. I think we have 69 active cases, only 13 patients in hospital. But as we go forward, those numbers could increase. Is there a magic number or a decision where you say, no, the kids can't go back? I mean, what's going to determine that?
It's a good question again. I don't know what magic number the province is using. Epidemiologists tend to focus on several indicators. One of them is this magical thing called the reproduction number, which is the average number of new cases that an old case produces. We like that number to be 1 or below, much smaller than 1 if possible. Right now in Ontario, we're hovering around 1, a little bit less than 1, so we're okay. If that goes above 1, then we're going to panic a little bit. The second is the percentage of tests that come back positive. So if that percentage is above 1 or 2 or 3%, we're going to start to worry again. If it's above 10%, really need to step back and close things down again. And there's the deaths. So if the deaths start upticking, then we know that something is wrong. So we're going to look at a number of things simultaneously. I'm unclear which ones are going to drive the economic decisions. That might have more to do with what's happening globally than locally.
I say be prepared. So let me ask, if there is a second wave and you're concerned, should we redefine lockdown? In other words, instead of closing everything as we did, and knowing what we know in terms of the cost of the economy and basically how well it went so far, that being said, maybe high-risk groups only stay locked down and society continues other than that? Should we redefine it?
That was the Swedish approach. It didn't quite work out for them. So what we need, again, is the public health investments to allow us to open up safely. So the idea behind a lockdown was to drive the case numbers low enough to buy us time to invest in the appropriate infrastructure. Now, I think we're doing that now. We're getting the testing and the contact tracing, the masks, the social distancing parameters all set up such that when the case numbers go up again, we know to step back just a couple of steps, not the entire full way into hiding in our homes again. So if we do our jobs well in the next couple of months, then maybe we don't have to have this extreme response in the fall.
Back to the schools and the kids. No masks. They should be allowed to play together. Is that something you would endorse as well? Isn't that risky potentially?
Depends on the age of the child, right? So kids under 7 or 8 probably can't handle masks all that well, and it may create more trauma than it needs to. And having kids distance, that's difficult as well with small children. I'm more concerned about the facilities available in the schools themselves. A lot of these schools don't have more than 1 or 2 bathrooms per floor, don't have sinks in the classroom, have crowded classrooms. If these can be fixed, these are things we can throw money at that don't need behavioral changes for the children to follow, then I'm more confident going forward.
Back to the big picture, the great numbers we had in the last 24 hours here in the city. Are we ready to enter stage 3 in your opinion here?
In Ottawa, that's a tough one again. I like to see the new cases be single digits per week before I'm comfortable opening up more things. Let's see how stage 2 manifests first. Let's give it a few weeks. Let's not jump the gun too soon.
It's always the 2-week period, right?
That's the important number,
Yeah.
but again, that's not a magic number. That's an average. So 2, 3, 4 weeks even. Let's enjoy the summer. Stage 2 is here. We can go out. We can have beers. We can sit on the patio. We can see our friends. We can socialize to some extent. Let's not be too greedy and push this further than it needs to go just yet.
It's always great talking to you and getting your insight. Dr. Raywat Deonandan, epidemiologist, University of Ottawa. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.